Well, good morning. Thank y'all very much for that. Listen, I want to get into my remarks and actually say something about Ted Poe in a minute. However, because we have the media here, I would like to start out just for 1 minute on a different topic. As people in the Houston area, as well as people along the Gulf Coast know, Tropical Storm Nicholas will be coming across the state of Texas, beginning in South Texas and working its way up to the Houston area. The state of Texas began preparing for this days ago, making sure that we were mobilizing all the supplies and support and resources that were needed by all the different local officials in all the various regions. I've spoken to the Harris County judge as well as county judges up and down the entire Gulf Coast to make sure that we're working collaboratively to make sure that at the local level we will be prepared for whatever this storm may bring in. Importantly, for the people who live in Harris County as well as other counties around this area, we do expect this to be a very heavy rain event. A heavy rain event that can lead to flooding and high water levels on roadways. As always, whenever we experience anything like that, we urge people to use great caution whenever they're driving along the roads. You remember the phrase, turn around, don't drown. It seems like every time we have heavy rain in the Houston area, there are people who do drive into high water, and they sometimes lose their vehicles and even worse, sometimes lose their lives. Your life is the most important thing that you have. Be cautious as you travel about the Houston area and the Harris County area for the next few days. Listen to local weather alerts and heed local advisories about the right and safe thing to do, and you'll make it through this storm just like you have many other storms. Speaking of storms and using that as a transition, we are facing a storm in Houston, in Harris County, in the state of Texas, as it concerns a dramatic rise in crime. I want to thank Judge Poe, we can call him judge, congressman, whatever his title is. I was a judge here in Harris County at the same time that Judge Poe was a judge here. I know for a fact there is no more qualified person to talk about criminal justice in the Harris County area than Judge Ted Poe. Thank you very much, Judge, for everything that you've done. I also want to express my gratitude for Dave Welch, for the Texas Pastor Council, as well as all the community leaders that we have here for your involvement. Listen, I know you all have been involved in a multitude of issues for years now, but your involvement in this issue about crime and criminal justice in this region is more important than ever and needed now more than ever before. As I will be explaining to you here shortly, the state is stepping up and addressing the rise in crime, and we are using every tool that we have to ensure criminal justice in this region and across the entire state of Texas. That said, what the state does is it responds to crime-based issues that occur. The better approach than responding to crime is to get ahead of the curve and to prevent the crime. There is no better crime prevention tool than good parenting. We need to get back to the social fabric of what will improve our communities. We need better parenting, greater parental involvement. We need to restore God in our communities. If we do that, we will be able to reduce crime in this region. Now, to put this in context, let me just tell you what I know you already know, and that is there has been a substantial increase in crime of all different kinds. There's been an increase in aggravated assaults, an increase in domestic violent crimes, and worst of all, homicides in Houston have increased by more than 30% this year alone. Lives are being lost because the criminal justice system in Harris County is not working the way that it should. Now, the deal is there are some clearly identifiable reasons why this is happening. So another way to say that is it's kind of easy to diagnose the causes for the increase in crime in the Houston area. One is what I already mentioned, and that is an erosion in family values. Another that we've seen a rise over the past 2 years in Texas, in Harris County, but also across the United States, there is increasing disrespect for law enforcement, disrespect for authority that has grown quite aggressive against law enforcement. At the same time, there has been lax enforcement of laws by prosecutors. And then worse, something that we will delve into even greater today, and that is there has been a revolving jailhouse door because of lax bail policies. And here in Harris County, more so than any other place I've seen in the state of Texas, you're facing a crisis that is a consequence of having elected a lot of judges to the bench in Harris County who ran as Democrat socialists. These Democrat socialist judges, they do believe in letting people out of jail as opposed to keeping people in jail. And that's why you have more criminals, convicted criminals, who are back out onto the streets endangering public safety. Well, as I mentioned earlier, the Texas legislature has worked to reinforce law and order in Texas. We've seen this dynamic across the country over the past year or so about the defund the police movement. You've seen it in Los Angeles, and San Francisco, and Portland, and Seattle, and Chicago, and Minneapolis, and New York. And unfortunately, we even have seen it here in Texas with Austin, Texas, defunding the police. Let me tell you something about Texas. In Texas, we respect our law enforcement officers. We will not demean or defund them. We will not allow cities in Texas to defund the police, and I am so proud of our state legislature for passing a law that prevents cities in Texas from defunding our police. They will get the money and resources they need to do their job. You may recall last year also in particular, we saw protests against police officers, but not just at that one time. We have seen this increased hostility and aggression against law enforcement officers. So we also passed laws that crack down on protesters who attack or threaten law enforcement officers. At the same time, we added more tools and resources and training for our law enforcement officers to make sure that they are up to date on having the best ways that they can keep their community safe. And then we come to one of the most horrific and challenging crimes that we're dealing with these days, and that is human trafficking, which is a particularly pernicious crime in the Harris County area. And I'm proud to tell you that because the legislature passed, I signed 9 laws this session cracking down on the crime of human trafficking. Also, as Ted Poe made reference to, we are also corralling crime that is associated with Biden's open border policies. We've been going after not just the human trafficking that's occurring because of the open border policies, but you have smuggling, you have gangs, you have weapons that are being brought in, and drugs, especially the deadly fentanyl drug, that's wreaking havoc in the state of Texas. To address this, we formed Operation Lone Star, where we are deploying thousands of Texas National Guard and Department of Public Safety officers to go down there and apprehend people who are coming across the border illegally, but also to arrest and jail people who come across the border and are trespassing. We are setting an example that's different than the Biden administration example. The Biden administration example is to roll out the red carpet for people who may be coming across the border. Their policy is to catch and release. Our policy is different. We've adopted a new policy that the state legislature embraced and provided funding for. The policy in Texas is to arrest and to jail people who are coming across the border illegally and trespassing, and we have arrested and jailed more than 5,000 people already, and you can expect that number to go up very meaningfully. Now, we also passed laws to directly address a serious crime issue in Houston, Texas, more so than any other part of the state of Texas, and that is to address a broken bail system. You have revolving door releases of dangerous criminals back out onto streets who then go commit even more crimes. The Texas legislature passed a law to fix the broken bail system and to keep dangerous criminals behind bars. The name of the law they passed is the Damon Allen Act. Damon Allen was a Department of Public Safety trooper who was killed in the line of duty on Thanksgiving Day back in 2017. Trooper Damon Allen was shot and killed during a routine traffic stop by a previously arrested and convicted criminal who was out on bail but should not have been out on bail. The Damon Allen Act makes it harder for dangerous criminals to be released from jail on bail. It also creates a statewide information system to provide judges considering bail with the criminal history of the person who is up for bail. The reason why we did this is one reason why Damon Allen lost his life is because the magistrate who was considering bail for the person who killed Damon Allen did not have access to the criminal history that may have allowed the judge to keep the killer behind bars as opposed to releasing him. The law also provides enhanced training and education for all magistrates who set bail, and it adds accountability for judges who release dangerous criminals on bail. Now I'm about to do something y'all may have never seen before. I'm going to sign this law in front of you right here today. This is one of those laws that was an emergency item that I set during the regular legislative session. And because the Democrats broke quorum at the end of the regular session, this bail reform bill did not get across the finish line, and it did not get across the finish line during the first called special session. However, this was one of those bills where I said I was going to call special session after special session after special session until we get it passed. And in the most recent special session, they finally got this bill passed to my desk, and I have brought it with me here today to be signed right here in Houston, Texas. Before I sign this bill, however, I would like to call up to the stage and recognize Casey Allen. Casey Allen is the widow of Damon Allen. She has been instrumental in making sure this law became a reality. And at this time, I would like Casey to come up to the stage and share a few words with you.
Good morning, everyone. How are y'all?
Good morning.
My name's Casey Allen. I am the widow of Trooper Damon Allen, and as the governor said, he was killed on Thanksgiving Day 2017. Damon was killed by a violent repeat offender who was stopped for speeding that day, and he just didn't want his plans interrupted by being arrested. The murderer still went to jail, and my life and my kids' lives were forever changed by actions that can't be taken back. It's been an honor to help work on this bill and to make it something Damon would be proud of. This bill will help keep violent offenders like the one who killed him off the streets and make them safer for other officers and for our communities. Working as an officer can be an unforgiving and harsh job because many people in the world see law enforcement not as people who are trying to help, but as the enemy. This legislation shows that we as a state care about and support our officers. It also helps make our justice system the best that it can be by furthering the education of our magistrates. Everybody knows that our justice system will never be perfect. The job of being a law enforcement officer will never be without its risk. But we can all work together to minimize the violence against law enforcement and the general public. And when it does happen, we can ensure that the magistrates are educated to deal with the offender appropriately. I'm proud of the work that went into the Damon Allen Act, but I also know more work needs to be done. The criminal justice system is always evolving, and we should all be prepared to work to keep up with its changes and ensure a safer world to leave to our children and grandchildren. I appreciate the governor for inviting me and for his staff for being invaluable assisting me throughout the years it's taken to get this bill passed. I would also like to publicly thank Representative Kyle Casal for his work and more than that for his friendship. Last but certainly not least, I'd like to thank my family, and I'm forever grateful to Texas State Trooper Matt Poole, who is right there. He was Damon's co-worker, but more than that, he was Damon's friend. He never failed to help me when I call. When the kids call, when they're down, he takes them and makes sure they're okay and does stuff with them. And I appreciate him very much. The Damon Allen Act will be one of many ways that I'll keep Damon's memory alive, and I'll forever be grateful for this opportunity. Now I would like to introduce Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick and Representative Reggie Smith and welcome them to the stage.
Thank you, Governor. Very important bill being signed here today. Governor and I were talking a little bit backstage, and it will be 42 years ago next month that I moved to Harris County when I went to work with Channel 11. And in those days, most of the judges were Democrats, but they were law and order Democrats. They believe in keeping dangerous people behind bars. Eventually, Republicans took most positions, and they were law and order Republicans, keeping dangerous felons off the streets to protect our law enforcement and protect the citizens of Harris County. Today, unfortunately, as the governor said, we have many judges that ran as socialist, and they don't believe in protecting law enforcement. They don't believe in protecting our citizens. And it's time we hold them accountable. It is time they do their duty. We've had too many dangerous people let out of jail on bond who have gone on to kill again and commit serious crimes. This is unacceptable. This is not a partisan issue. It shouldn't be. The number one duty of any judge, law enforcement officer, House member, governor, lieutenant governor, state senator is public safety. That's number one. Our county judges need to look at who they endorse for office the next time for judge, because they have been largely responsible for getting a lot of these socialists elected. That's just the truth. And along with this bill, as the governor said, we passed bills to stop defunding police. This summer, the Harris County Court, 3 members of the court, took $20 million away from our constables and our sheriff, and that has to stop. There has been a move at Commissioner's Court for more than a year to abolish our constables. We have 8 constables, 8 precincts, 5 Democrats, 3 Republicans, not a partisan issue. All 8 of them have gone to the court and said, do not shut us down. It is time for the people of Harris County who depend on their constables, particularly in the unincorporated areas. It's time for the people, Republican, Democrats, Independent, to tell the court they want their constables funded. They do not want them disbanded. They are law enforcement on the ground for so many of our people in Harris County. We cannot stand to see them disband our constables. I find it interesting that Lena Hidalgo found $11 million to give a parent friend of hers for an outreach program when she took $20 million away from law enforcement. I'm glad they've canceled that contract. I want to thank Senator Joan Huffman. She would have been here today. I told Mrs. Allen apologies from Joan. Her plane was grounded in Austin, so she couldn't get here. But we passed this bill out of the regular session. I think we passed this bill 4 times. As the governor said, he wasn't going to quit and we weren't going to quit. And I thank Reggie for getting the job done in the House. We're serious. And by the way, the bail bond bill in the Senate had bipartisan support. Again, it's time for Harris County Court, the 3 Democrats on that court, to join the 2 Republicans and put public safety, protecting law enforcement, protecting our citizens, and keeping felons and dangerous murderers behind bars, period. They need to start that today. Thank you for being here.
Hello, I'm Reggie Smith. I represent House District 62, which is Grayson, Fannin, and 5,000 Sweet Souls in Delta County, Texas. And it's my pleasure to be with you. I appreciate the governor, the lieutenant governor, judge. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. I was the House sponsor for SB 6, which was filed by Joan Huffman, Senator Huffman. I want to thank her for all her work. She's been working for years on some version of this bill and on this concept, and you need to really be thankful for the hard work of Joan Huffman, because she is a true champion in this area. I would also be remiss if I didn't tell you that there is a representative from Central Texas named Andy Murr, Representative Andy Murr, Chairman Andy Murr. He has been working for years on this as well, and he is a true champion for this. He was called away to another assignment in connection with the election bill that we had to get passed, and that's how I ended up with this bill, and it's my privilege and pleasure to work with him as well in connection with this. Y'all give him a hand, please. Just briefly, the bill does 3 main things. It implements a public safety report, which is going to provide more information for our magistrates so that they'll have more accessible, easily understood information about a defendant's criminal history. That will either provide them with the opportunity to say, hey, this guy's not doesn't have a bad history, let's give him a PR bond or give him a lesser surety bond. And for those who are enemies of the community, it will give the judge the opportunity and the responsibility to make sure that they have the appropriate bond. And so I'm really excited about this public safety report system. It'll be developed by the Office of Court Administration. I think it's going to be a good thing. The second thing, and probably the feature that you've heard the most about, involves the PR bond list. It's going to cut down so that we do not have any more abuses in connection with the granting of PR bonds in connection with several major crimes of violence across the state of Texas, and I think that's a great feature to this bill. The third and final thing I'll share with you, that it's going to provide for more training for magistrates. You know, you have JPs and magistrates across the state, many of them trying to do the best that they can. It's going to give them more training and connection to not only this PSR system, but it's also going to give them training to understand and better be able to digest criminal histories, which can be rather complex, as you know. So I'm excited about all the features of the bill. But let me just point out one thing, and I will tell you that I'm not from Harris County. I did come to law school down here at South Texas, but I came back before I presented this bill to committee. And I had the opportunity to tour your jail facilities and spent quite a bit of time with the DA's assistant and also with the director of your courts. And I had an opportunity to see what your pretrial situation looks like. It's phenomenal. It's an amazing amount of infrastructure that no other county in Texas, maybe no other county in the country has. But if there are, I'm going to speak the obvious here, if there are not consequences, I'm not aware of a community that will respect the law. And if you're not trying jury trials, and if defense lawyers and defendants do not know that their day in court is coming, then at what point will anyone have respect for the law? And so I will just tell you humbly that I had the opportunity in that tour to see that your district courts are not trying cases. And while it might not be the popular thing, my perception is the truth. The last time I checked, and that was just a few weeks ago, the average number of jury trials that were tried by a criminal district court in Harris County was 4.6 per court this year, and there are 3, as of the last time I checked, that had not even tried a case. So anyway, we've got some work to do. I'm excited about this bill. I think it's a great start. I appreciate the opportunity to be up here today with these 2 fine men, and I've had the opportunity to work on this, and thank you so much for what you do. God bless.
The Damon Allen Act is now law in Texas.
I'll give that to Joe.
Yeah, one for you.
All right. Make sure it's done.
There we go.
Thank you all. God bless you all, and God bless the great state of Texas.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for sticking with us here on KXAN Live. I'm Will Dupree. We just saw Governor Greg Abbott sign the Damon Allen Act into law a few moments ago. His widow there escorting him off the stage, holding the legislation in hand, as well as the pen that the governor used. This particular legislation, again, restricts offering personal or cash bail to people suspected of violent crimes. And then this is in particular named after State Trooper Damon Allen, who was killed in the line of duty back on Thanksgiving Day in 2017. More information about this particular legislation is available on our website at the moment. That's KXAN.com. You can also find it right on your smartphone, the KXAN News app, so please download that if you haven't done so already. We're going to end our stream now. Thank you all for watching for as long as you have. We'll see you back here throughout the day without other updates, so please stay with us. Everyone, take care.